Hello and welcome to another episode of the Smash Accept podcast. I'm your host, Michael Roy. You can find me on Twitter at DynastyDadFF. Joined as always by my main man at FF Snoog. And today it's Monday. It's becoming my second favorite day of the week. You know, we're always Tuesday. I should say third. Tuesday's trade show Tuesday. Wednesday's date night. Didn't want to sell that short, but Monday's got its own special ring to it because it's roster review Monday. With Snook, we're getting a lot of great responses. We're literally booked out 3 weeks in advance on this now, which is super cool to me. It's grown just over 3 weeks. You know, the first one it was like, okay, we're gonna have enough people. Then we filled it up. Then it was the second one. It's like, okay, now we got this one. Now we're like 3 shows out in advance, and I think people are really liking this format. They're liking the discussion. And if you guys have suggestions on this, anything to tweak, we're open because we're here to do this for you guys. You know, I've seen some comments in the chat, and some people are like, oh well, I don't want to do this because I don't have the money for that, or why are they asking? We're doing this for you guys. Like, this is something that we've always done as far as roster reviews to try to help you put your team into the best position. I did a one-on-one with a guy from the Discord today, and he's like, I literally have gone from 1 team to 5 teams. Now I'm in 18, and I'm literally winning, you know, in my leagues, you know. So this is really what we're trying to do, Snoog. And those are the kind of comments to me that really, really are special and separate what we're actually trying to do.
Yeah, it's going to be a real fun show. You know, we got 6 rosters on here for tonight's plate. We got some different variations, some 1 QB, some super flex, some half PPR, some standard leagues. So it's going to be a really cool variety of teams and rebuilders and contenders, and trying to give you guys as many different scenarios as possible for all the listeners. Obviously, if you're interested in booking one of these, just DM Dad or myself on Twitter at DynastyDadFF or at FFSnook. We'll get you booked up for that. We still got a couple openings for that April 6th show. That's next opening, the first Monday of April. But until then,
Easter weekend, man.
Yeah. Till then, we're going to keep crushing these.
And everybody said, hey, on the trade shows, you pop a different drink every time. Yo, we got the C4 Jolly Rancher. It's an oldie, but a goodie. We're going to pop the top. And let's start out. We actually got a super chat before we start. All World Fantasy came in, and he just said, and he's our latest guy to actually join. He said, I just joined VIP Patreon. I'm in an 18 super flex, 0.5, 10 team dynasty league. I got an offer of Igbuka, Algier, 103, and a 27 first for Puka and 108. Is that enough to move off of Puka?
I'm keeping the Buka side. Early 27 first and the 103 cancel out Puka, in my opinion. And I'd take a Buka and Algier over the 108 by a mile.
Yeah, so we're both on the same page. We're taking the Igbuka side there. Yeah. I'd love to see it, the 1-8 out of there and make it like a second. But I think you actually end up winning this trade big time because the fact that you're getting the insulation of the 103, which we just saw we just released our show today for Chad Reuter's mock. And we're looking at Makai Lemon to the Eagles. That would be absolute fire, plus that 27 first. Now, without further ado, I got the drink ready. Let's get rolling on our first roster review of the night from Justin Incredible from the Discord. Awesome guy. He plays with me in Smash Accept, I believe it's Global, or our friend from Canada here. So let's see what we got.
Yeah, we got a good lineup here. I mean, so far we got Caleb Williams here. It is a super flex league, so definitely thin there at quarterback. Definitely something that we need to upgrade there. But by the looks of this, it looks like this is going to be a good old-fashioned rebuild where we take this, the Dynasty Dad approved rebuild special route. But I think Caleb Williams there is a great foundational piece there to start with the QB. Young guy, good piece to build around. Dad, he absolutely crushed it with those RBs. When you're in a rebuild, it's all insurance guys that you can flip for second plus when they get the starting job. If the guy goes down injury, that's starting over them. Braylon Allen, Ollie Gordon, Chris Rodriguez, Blake Corum, all really good insurance running backs. Jumping over to the wide receivers there, that's foundational. Like CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Travis Hunter, that's your core, right? Those are the 3 guys you want to build around. I think we can go ahead and add Wan'Dale Robinson and Jaden Reed to the trades list. Like, we don't need those guys on a rebuild. Let's go get seconds plus for them and take it that route. Man, that tight end room is phenomenal. Brock Bowers, Colson Loveland, Aronde Gadsden. Dad, break down this roster so far, just through the players. Who are you trading? Who are you trying to build around, and why?
Yeah, this is a 4-point passing league. So, I mean, it doesn't really affect Caleb too much because it gets a lot of rushing in there. This is tight end premium. So I'm building this roster around Bowers and Loveland right now, because I think the rest of this team has some tweaking to do, some opportunities. I look at the picks, I see an extra 27 first, and I think we're on the right track. We still have our 27 first, and then 108, 204. So you saw he had the 104 last year. Must have traded it ahead of time. When you're in that 103, 104, 105 range, we got to really commit, right? And he was in that spot. I know he wasn't in Smash Accept before last year, but I'm like, you got to go all in, top 3 or bottom 3. And right now he's hovering in the middle again towards that bottom 4. So let's commit to this. You're great with the running backs. You're great with the quarterbacks. I think what we want to attack is that wide receiver room become a little bit younger. I've been saying this. We did our wide receiver show. For me, CeeDee Lamb, and get me a Emeka, a Luther, somebody like that, plus a mid 27 first, or a Tet plus a late 27 first if you can. I think he's your number one trade asset to tear down off of. And then I think we organically start to take some trades like Jaden Reed and Wan'Dale Robinson, and we package up, right? Maybe Wan'Dale Robinson, the 108 to get to 105, because a lot of people are starting to sour on Jordan Tyson because of the rumors of the hamstring and everything like that, or get ourselves from that 204 to maybe a 19, because we just did a mock draft, Snoog, and you see guys like Jadarian Price with good landing spots. That 19, 110 could be a good spot to start to pick up some players. So I think on the clock, I'm shopping the 108 for a 27 first. If I can't, I'm going to try to move back as much as possible, accumulate some assets, because the biggest thing we've been saying on a rebuild, right, is we build it out before we build it up. I want 15 assets here, and as I'm counting, I see about 8 plus the 2 firsts. So we're about 5 short from really pushing the chips in.
Yeah, exactly. I love that, right? You can cheer off CeeDee, get one of those young receivers plus a 27 first, keep adding value there. The question is here, Dad, like Brock Bowers, Colson Loveland. We don't want both of them. I'd say you sell probably Bowers, right? Because you can get an extra.
Yeah, if I have no problem holding both of them. Yeah, because of the format.
Yeah.
When I have Brock Bowers, what have I been saying to everybody is it's got to be Loveland, Fannin, or Warren. And if it's Loveland, I want any 27 first in Loveland, right? But we already have Loveland here. So if I'm tearing down to Tucker Kraft, Harold Fannin, or Tyler Warren, I got to have, or like our 204 get 2. So like I would love to see Tucker Kraft and 2 firsts for Bowers in our 204, because our 204 this year isn't worth what the 204 is next year. So like that's something you consider tearing down, because you ultimately, people ask me this after the last couple of shows. They're like, Dad, when you have a rebuild, why are you saying to sell Brock Bowers, sell CeeDee Lamb? And I'm like, because you need to tear down, because you need to win twice. I was talking to Snoog, and I were on a Zoom call today, talked about how insulation really came about. My first league ever, I was a moron. I came in, I traded two firsts for Aaron Rodgers. That'll tell you how old I was. Aaron Rodgers is still in the league, but at this point, we're talking prime Aaron Rodgers. I traded 2 firsts in a 1 quarterback league, and everybody's like, what was that? And I ended up winning the league, which was great. But then I looked at my roster, and I'm like, I don't have any picks. So then I traded Antonio Brown and I know Antonio Brown, if you guys are a little bit younger, you only know crazy Antonio Brown taking his jersey off. Man was wide receiver 1 3 years in a row. I traded him for DeAndre Hopkins after DeAndre Hopkins' rookie year, plus a first. That first became Joe Mixon. Those 2 guys were RB1 and wide receiver 1 for better part of a half a decade, So like that's how you build out. You find that next guy. And we believe in Mecca. We believe in Luther Burden. We believe those guys are going to move up. So Snoog, let's take a look at some of the contenders here, because that's who I want to. I want to look at the contenders. I want to look at the middle. So let's actually start at the middle. The guys that we could probably get some 27 firsts. That if you're going to make a trade in a rebuild, right? I first attack the middle guys, because those are the guys that like they're 27 first. They might think they're buying all in, but they might not be. And I wish this guy had better wide receivers.
I'm trying to find people with no tight ends, because we have like a good fit. This guy could be a really good trade target. He's kind of in the middle. He's got a little bit of everything, right? It's like
he's not in the middle. He's real bad.
He
got the 101.
Bad.
He's real
bad. I think I almost see like a vision with like, how can we take Bowers plus and get like the 101 and the 27 first? Like, can we do Or maybe we take the 104 and a 27 first plus that 27 second and flip it for Bowers. You give him Bowers, you get back. Maybe try to have him throw in Barner. Maybe like Bowers for 104, 27 first and Barner, and maybe throw that second in. Just try to squeeze as much value as you can out of him for Bowers. If you have to trade him, maybe I'm seeing like, let's trade CeeDee Lamb for like the 101 and the 27 second if you can get that, right? Like, let's try to insulate as much as we can just to get a lot younger, but still get really good foundational assets here. Because I do think this guy is in like one of those positions where he's probably like, I need actual players. He's kind of all over the place here.
He makes no sense.
He makes no sense. And these are the type of people that you want to trade with, right? The teams that make no sense. They might have a bunch of vets, but like a couple injuries and they're done for the count. This could be a 102, 103 in 2027 without a doubt in my mind. So if we can somehow try to get that 27 first attached to one of these 26 firsts for one of your studs, I think that'd be phenomenal. Even a 27 first and 104 for CeeDee Bowers, doesn't matter who it is. I think that'd be a really good trade there for you.
Try to find our guys with like guys we were talking about there, where we're talking about a Mecca, we're talking about Luther Burden, we're talking about Chris Olave.
Pickens.
I don't think you're getting anything really on top of CD for Pickens. And that's in a weird spot. Once we move down,
what about like a Flowers plus a 27 and a 106 for CD plus?
If you can get it,
that could be a fun trade if you can get it right. Or even like Flowers at 27 and like Hendo feels too rich for CD, but it's like something in that range. I think you're better off selling for picks than players with how this league's designed. These are all the bottom teams, and a lot of them are kind of all in and don't have the right assets for you to make a trade like that, right? Like this guy's got 111 and 27-1. He doesn't need a tight end. He doesn't have any wide receiver for you to insulate back from. Let's keep bumping through here. Still no one. Right here. Here's a good one. Emeka, Luther, Ladd, 103, 27 first, Judkins, all great pieces there. No tight end. I'm almost wondering, Dad, is there an all-in move where we can move Bowers and Lamb for like, some massive package of like the 103, 27 first, Emeka Egbuka and Quinshon Judkins, like something like that. Some sticky big baller trade, I think, could be really valuable for this. But like, what are you seeing with this roster? Because it seems like this is our trade partner, right? He's got the value of the assets,
and he's got the vets.
All in. Yeah,
I would start with Luther 103 or Emeka 103. If he's not willing to give the 103, I would go to the 27 first and try to go that route. Or at the quarterback position here, I mean, he's got Cam Ward. I would not mind getting something where it's like Cam Ward and one of those two wide receivers, and then maybe you get the 203 thrown in there, because I think what we're trying to do is build out, and I think Cam Ward is a guy that I believe is going to break out this year. I don't think he's going to have a top 5 season by any stretch of the imagination, but 12, I believe he's going to be like a top 12 quarterback. I think that's in the range of outcomes. So I ultimately, when you're trying to do this and rebuild, and I have a whole list of it, and we did a whole show on it. We're going after those Marvin Harrison Jr.'s, the Cam Wards, the Tyler Shucks, a lot of sophomore and third year guys that haven't quite broke out, but I think this guy's definitely on to the right track. Justin,
I like
awesome
this one
guy.
too.
Oh, got another one.
I like this one too. I see it. Sorry, I see a lot of trades here with this, right? Like he has Tet. He has
Rome,
he has a lot of assets here. Maybe we could do Tet in the 27-1 for CD, or we could do Tet in the 27-1 in Kraft for Bowers plus.
I would do Tet in 105, to be honest, because that's a little bit closer.
But
I mean, Tucker Kraft in the 107, or Tucker Kraft or 105, 27 first, and then you throw him something back and give him multiple assets there. A lot of options there. We're trying to make sure we give you the best possible insight in those 10 minutes that we're trying to kind of cover that. What a lot of people have been saying is, Dad, like, how do we cover an entire league in 10 minutes? And you can't, right? But what we're offering in this particular package, we're giving ideas, we're giving trade selections, we're trying to help you assess where your needs are. And then if you're in the Discord, you're all set. We're going to continue to help work with you for the eternity until you're in there, And if you're one of our Twitter guys, like we have coming up here in the next couple, if you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, we are including 2 weeks of DM service, or if you guys want to get in, we can offer 1 month of the Discord, or we can offer a review bonus. So we're trying to make this something where, yes, we're talking about your roster for 10 minutes, but that doesn't mean it's out of sight, out of mind after that. That means once you reach out to us, we're going to continue to work through these. You're going to share what's on those rosters. Once the trades come back, like I had one guy, he came and he did the show last week. Then he DM'd me on the Discord and he said, Dad, I tried those trades. That didn't work. What do you got? So I gave him 6 more trade ideas that I thought would really build up that roster, because that's what we're trying to do. Like, we're not here, like I said, we're not here to make a quick buck on this. We're here to make your team better. That's really all we care about. So next one here from Adam_Denver, or
Adam
in the Discord. Shout out to you. 12 team start 11 PPR Superflex. Snoog, most of my leagues are start 10. How much different do you play in start 11? You know, like start 8, I think is garbage, because you're just too shallow and it doesn't. Then I'm playing for studs. Yeah. Is start 11 change that much for you to start 12? Start 12 is really difficult. Start 11 is just a little bit more depth, a little bit more to put in.
A little bit more strategy, right? Those insulated moves that we're teaching are a lot more valuable, right? Like being able to take Lamb and flip them to Tet for plus a 27 first, or Kraft plus 2 first for Bowers. Like what we were trying to teach was just incredible. Like those processes, those insulated moves are really valuable in a deeper league, like a start 11, especially a 12 team. So being able to understand that part and being able to build out the depth and also have, you know, a full lineup full of studs is important in start 11, even start 12. So let's jump into this team here. Really good variety here. I mean, I think he's a little bit all over the place here. He's got some 27 first, Dad. Why don't you go ahead and break this down for us, head to toe, from QB to tight end? We'll dive into the picks together here and come up with a strategy.
Yeah, quarterback's an A+, going May, Daniels. Then you got Brissett in there. Brissett's a nice little add-on. Like that a lot. The running backs, Javonte, Smith, Monangai, Ja'Cory. It's a little bit, that's like a C, right? I'm like, this team needs a little bit. There's no real RB2 here. Wide receivers, Neighbors, Metcalf, Parker, Pearsall, Watson, Sutton. It's a lot of meh and Neighbors, right? It's a lot of guys who are like, they could not, but
I like Parker and Pearsall, but
no, that's what I'm saying. It's like I like Watson, you like Parker, Pearsall's in there, but it's just kind of meh. You know, it's like it doesn't get it done for me. Tight ends, Ferguson, Barner.
Rebuild.
I'm out on that. So this looks to me like a rebuild that started a little bit late. You know, like one thing that's important is assessing your roster honestly, and that's what we do in the Discord. Is like we really try to give you. I have at least 20 a day. People are like, Dad, what is this? Is this a contender, a rebuilder, or what am I doing with this team? Right? Because there's nothing in between. You contend, you rebuild, you retool. Those are the only 3 options. If you're in the middle, that's called sucking. We don't do that at Smash Accept. So we're literally doing those 3 things. Right now, it looks like this was one where it was like he was in the middle. He finished with the last playoff spot, because you can see he has the 407 there. We never want to do that. You know, like you want to make the playoffs, yes, but you don't want to limp in. You don't want to have a team that's struggling. So I'm looking at this. You got the 227 first. I think that's great. You got somebody else's 28 first. That's good. It would be nice to get ours back, you know, to try to go that. But I do think we can probably turn this one around pretty quickly because the quarterbacks are elite.
Yes.
I think first and foremost, I am tearing off the quarterbacks. You don't, I don't want to say you don't need 2 elite quarterbacks like this. You can probably get the most for Drake May, but Jaden Daniels is the riskiest. So if you can tear this down, and what I would really like to do, and I want you to try to look for a trade partner in here, but if you give me one of those 2 quarterbacks, and I'll throw in DK Metcalf and get him off my team, and then I want a Cam Ward, a better wide receiver, and a 27 first, right? Where I think we get to ourselves, try to find that proper aspect. And I think that's what you try to do, right? Is when I'm breaking down my rosters, when I'm looking at things, I see who I want and I go after those teams, and I am aggressive with that. Because I think if you're tearing down, everybody wants Drake May, everybody wants Jaden Daniels. So I'm trying to tear down to your Brock Purdy's, your Trevor Lawrence, your Cam Ward, those guys that are in that tier that haven't quite. Even Bo Nix, I think, is a really good one, because Bo Nix, I feel like everybody treats him like cilantro. You love him or you hate him. Yeah. And in some leagues, people hate him to a point where you could trade the 104 and get Bo Nix. Yeah. So I think those are the kind of teams that I'm attacking here.
Yeah, I mean, right away, Mahomes. When you're trading a Drake May, I feel like the heavy contenders are the ones that will push all the chips in to go for a player like that of that value. This guy right here, Patrick Mahomes, great trade target for you. He has your 28 first. Here's a good opportunity for you to get that first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trade Drake May, get Patrick Mahomes, a 28 first plus, a second or plus one of these guys is a throw in a Waddle, maybe try to get a Judkins or something like that in there. Try to squeeze as much as you can out of him, right? Because this guy's probably saying, I have Lamar. Let me go all in on, one of the best QBs I can get that's young. I don't care about a 28 first. Maybe you can give him a second back or give him, Swift or Javonte, tier up to Judkins and get Mahomes in that 28 first. And then, Dad, what do you think about this one? Purdy here. He's got the 102 and a 27 first. Luther, Travis Hunter, some other good assets here. What are your two favorite trades, just plucking from these two guys' teams right here for him to tier off Daniels or Drake May?
Yeah. Before we move to that, I mean, I put it out, and we have a Devy section now in the Discord, but where we're talking about those 28 first and Snook, Malachi Toney, Bryce Underwood, Decorium Moore, like that class, you don't want to not have your 28 first. So that's the first guy we want to go to even if we start with the May or Daniels type move, but then I think we move on to the wide receivers, and you're like, listen, I'll give you a 27 second, or no, I'll give you a second and DK Metcalf if you give me your 28 first, or you do something, maybe even Javonte Williams for the 28 first, because Malachi Toney, Bryce Underwood, and Decorium Moore are going to be legit. I mean, those guys are, if they were in this class, I'm honestly, I think they could be 102, like 102, 103, or it would at least be in the top 5 for sure. So this next team doing the same kind of thing as I'm going to go to him, and I want Travis Hunter, Brock Purdy, and a 27 first. And I'm going to give you Drake May. And why Travis Hunter? Because I want premium upside swings, right? This guy's a competitor. He doesn't want Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter, it does him no good. Agree. But guess what? A Parker Washington injury, Jacoby Myers starts to dip a little bit. Travis Hunter is going to boom back, and I like that a lot.
I'm almost thinking this guy really needs an RB2. Maybe Javonte's that piece that he views as putting him over the top, right? Maybe there's a trade where you could do Purdy, Hunter, 102 and a 27 first, and give him, Javonte and Drake May, or Javonte, Drake May, and Swift, right? And then now you get that 27 first insulated with Javonte. He gets his RB2. That's going to give him top 12 production. He also gets that big upgrade at QB, where maybe he's like, the picks don't really do much for me as terms as the players would.
I mean, the 102 as well. Like you get, this guy doesn't need the 102. He got it from somebody else. So, I mean, this is where you take Purdy, you get the 102, you get Luther, you get somebody else. That team is your perfect trade partner.
Yeah. Another one here. I think Cam Ward, Dad, could be a really good, let's get Cam Ward 104 and a 27 first and give him Drake May. Why not, right? You get those assets in there. You get the big insulated
especially
move.
His 20. That team's not very good, but sometimes those teams take a swing because that wide receiver core is brutal.
I think the play is just take Javonte and try to get any 27 first you can get for him. And if you can't get a 27, then you get a 28. Simple.
We start with our 28, but then we work it into the alternate 28s, which I love that. Dooley says, and guys, when we do these in between rosters, we will do super chats, whether it's a construction trade or a trade chat. One thing I want to preface is we're not doing a super chat and then reviewing your whole roster. But if you say, hey, Dad, this is my roster, what's one move you would make, or would you do this trade? We want to be here to help you. So Dooley 11, thank you for the super chat. I think he's new to the show. My team is a hard rebuild. Would you trade away Tet and Dobbs for the 105 and a mid to late 27 first and Golden? I think it's on the right track. What I really would like to say, Snoog, is that mid or is that late? Golden and Dobbs are actually really close now until once the A.J. Brown deal goes down, Romeo Dobbs goes from like an early second to a late second. It's just going to happen overnight. But for me, 105, if it's mid, yes. If it's late, I would ask for something a little bit more. Snook, I almost look at this trade and say, give me a 27 second instead of Matthew Golden. I know that seems a little bit different, but you want to get those points off your team. So, Dooley, I think this is a good trade. Let's tweak it a little bit and take this 27 second there on top of it, especially if it tends to be on that later half. So
yep.
I love this. Jay Bird said these reviews are so good. I'm so invested in the teams I just became aware of, and like those kind of things really, really get me going. Like people are asking questions in here, but the guys that are really interested in getting their rosters to the next level, like our next guy here, D. Whitney, a guy that we talk to regularly in the Discord on a daily basis. He has a 12 team Superflex, 0.5 PPR, 4-point passing touchdowns. I put touchdown in there twice, but Snoog, when we play 4-point passing touchdown at 0.5 PPR, this is a little bit more on the vanilla side. So how does that change the way you make trades, the way you construct your rosters? Because 0.5, I mean, I'm more in on the running backs. 4-point passing touchdown, it's like the quarterbacks dip down a little bit. Like running backs are the key in this league, or rushing quarterbacks.
Yeah, you hit it on the head, right? You're going for those Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jacksons, Kyler Murrays, or you're going for heavy RB, roster teams or touchdown scoring machine, wideouts. Like Jamar Chase is really valuable in this type of format, right? Because he punches in 14, 15, 16 touchdowns on a good year, or vice versa with Derrick Henry, who's a touchdown machine's really valuable in this, half PPR league. So
this thing is sexy. Let's take it. Yeah, we got one here. So, I mean, right off the bat, I'm going first backwards contender. This time. I'm looking at the core. You have 227 firsts. You won the league last year because you have the 412. So 227 first. No 26 first. Who cares, right? Now we're going to get Ty Simpson at 112 anyways. Trey McBride, Isaiah Likely, boom. Now we're back in business. You got an elite foundational tight end plus
upside back
Likely, which is your upside. Wide receivers. This is a Snoog wide receiver core there. And Lamb and Nico. Then you got Rome, Burden, JMO for the upside. Love it. 2 foundational pieces and 2, pillars of production.
Foundation.
Yeah. They're not quite there. Yeah, good point. Genty, Bucky, RJ, Blake. That's solid. Genty's your foundational piece. And then you move over and you got Burrow, Kyler, and Jacoby Brissett. Snoog, this is a pretty nice roster. This is well, I don't ever count Gino. But no, like for real, this roster looks like it's ready to compete. They obviously won it all last year. What everybody asks me in the Discord and they ask on Twitter is like, how do I repeat? Right. So what are the moves here to repeat? Because I feel like I say this all the time. What you aren't changing, you're choosing. And if you choose this from the 2025 roster doesn't always win the 2026 league. So what's the first set of moves you'd be making here?
Yeah, I think the goal is let's take some picks and tier up, right? We have so much good depth, but can we get some studs? Can we tier up off RJ Harvey? Can we tier up off Bucky Irving? Can we tier up off Jameson Williams, right? Can we tier up off Rome Odunze? What can we do here? I'm trying to find almost like the fringe rebuilders and see if they got any stud running backs or wide receivers on their bench. Like I'm already thinking like in my head, like how can we get Justin Jefferson to this team? Like, is that an option? Is there an option here? Can we go get Chase Brown, right? Can we throw him RJ Harvey in a second and get Chase Brown and upgrade there at the running back position? Can we take Rome Odunze or Jameson Williams plus one of those 27 first and get Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? That could be an avenue for us to do. Let's see what else we got here. Can we buy low on A-Chain right now? Because it feels like nobody wants to own A-Chain. Can we take Harvey in a 27 first and get A-Chain plus a depth piece like Parker Washington or Terry McLaurin or Christian Watson? Like, what would that avenue look like? Maybe this guy right here, he's a rebuilder, right? Baby Baker. He's got James Cook and nothing else. That's a perfect opportunity to go throw him a low ball. Here's RJ Harvey in the 205. Give me James Cook. Maybe he's like, oh, I get younger at RB. I get a pick back in return. Or maybe you just say, here, take my late 27 first. Give me James Cook and Rico Dowdle, or James Cook and Alvin Kamara, or James Cook and, Tyler Algier here. But, Dad, it's almost like you have such an advantage when you're the clear-cut number one contender. I always go to, the teams from, that I think are going to be middle of the pack or rebuilding, because I think they're always the most likely to – like this guy, he's got James Cook, has no business owning him.
Yeah, you cherry pick off the bottom. You don't try to go to the guys like 2 or 3. Can you scroll back up to the top to see where the roster is? I mean, I love this, and I think it's a start 10. So this is something that we've been looking at a lot. I mean, obviously you're going to start Burrow and Kyler. There's 2. You're going to start Genty and Bucky. That's 4. Lamb, Nico, one of the Bears. That gets you up to 7. McBride's 8. So we're talking about we're going to have to start 2 more guys. And you have Harvey, you got Rome, you got JMO, so and you got Likely. So you got about 4 guys there. What I would really like to see is you take Jamison Williams at the 205 and get a guy slightly above there that's going to give you solid production. I would leave Rome on my I would leave Rome on my bench. I would start Luther on the regular. I think Rome's going to ascend in value. RJ Harvey's too hard to trade, so you kind of wait there. But I think this team, to me, with that 205, I'm going to buy David Montgomery. I'm going to buy, someone that's going to be ready to fill in there. And then when there's an injury time, when there's a spot there, I would hold on to those 27 firsts right now, especially without knowing
what does this team need to you? Like, what do you like? This team needs something.
I want an elite wide receiver 3, or I would rather try to go, depending on the Christian McCaffrey owner.
I was going to say, yep.
Float Bucky straight up for Christian. Bucky straight up for Christian McCaffrey, or RJ Harvey in the 205 for Saquon Barkley. Like I want someone
like that.
Legit. And I would even consider maybe Jalen Coker, the 205, and a future second for a Derrick Henry. Or I want one more piece. I want one more guy in here that just says, because
I think James Cook's going to be so easy to get for him.
I would do Harvey in the
right here.
I would start with Harvey the 205 and a 27 second, but I think I'd be prepared to do Harvey and plus that other first.
Saquon guy could be open. Yeah, he could be open to it. He's definitely a contender. Who owns Jonathan Taylor? Because to me, I'm thinking Jonathan Taylor right here. Oh my gosh, yeah, that team's awful. Like, let's go get Jonathan Taylor or James Cook or Saquon Barkley.
This is the spot right now, Snoog, and the 27 class is so hyped. He's going to have the 112. So if you offer a 27 first for Jonathan Taylor, almost everybody jumps on that. And if you have to, you throw him Coker.
I would do
you throw him one of those guys. This roster's ready to go, Whitney. I love it.
9 out of 10 contender, I'd say.
Oh, yeah. No, almost a 10 out of 10. I would like to see a little bit more, but those 27 firsts in your back pocket, use yours, hold the other one, and
get a hammer.
People talk about this all the time, Snoog, is they try to take that 27 first and just buy that last sexy piece instead of playing out with what they have and holding that throughout the season, because people are going to get hurt. It's a long season. Listen here, I'm the okayest from the Discord. Not the best, not the worst, just the most okayest. Let's see if the roster is. He's got a 10-team, 0.5 PPR, start 8, no tight end premium. So this is an interesting format because start 8 in 10-team is about as shallow as we come across. Like I feel like anybody that's in the Discord or anybody that's on Twitter and comes to me with an 8-man league, I'm like, all right, that's your gateway. Like, stop playing with little kids. Let's start getting ourselves up. 10-teamer, this is one's going to be interesting. I want to look at this roster, and I'm like, a 10-team start 8 is the easiest to rebuild. It's also the easiest to push into a contender because it's shallow. You can pick out the right guys. I'm starting to I started out at the pick section, and I'm like, I only see 2 27 twos.
Yeah.
There's no firsts at all, just the 2 twos. I do see Colston Loveland there at the tight ends. I love that. The other 3 are the definition of turd sandwiches. Then I see wide receivers. I like the wide receivers. No, I actually really like the wide receivers. I mean, Pickens, Olave is fantastic. Brian Thomas Jr., up and down. But then Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman, Shakir there. Yeah. I think there's some upside there. Running backs, Snoog, we got to get some running back help. I mean, Brees, Algier, Dowdle, Keaton Mitchell, it's just not it. And then the quarterbacks, that's a little bit light to me too. And a 10-teamer, Trevor's a fine back-end QB1, but you barely have a QB2 there with Stroud and Young and Shador. So let's start to break this thing down. What's the first thing that you're doing here? Because we don't have a 26 first. We don't have a 27 first. I don't think it's a rebuild, but I don't think it's a smash contender. So we're literally at that point of it's no man's land. But in order to do that, we need to get our 27 first back.
Yep. I was going to say the first thing I am trying to do is get my 27 and 28 first back. That's the first. I'm trying to rebuild this team. In worst case scenario, if I can't, we need to go make a move for an RB2 that's a hammer, like a CMC, a Josh Jacobs, someone of that nature. But I think the goal is like Pickens or Olave for our 27 first plus another first, or Brees for our 27 first, or BTJ for our 27 first, or for our 28 first. We need that 27 and that 28 first back. That's like the main priority. So let's find out who's got them first of all. Dad, you hit on this process while I'm looking for who has his picks. Hit on like what you would try to be doing to get this team out of the hole, because it's got good value. It has a lot of good trade value.
Yeah. But there's only one asset on this team that is highly sought after, and that's Colston Loveland. Like when you have a team where you have like a Josh Allen on one like this, you're like, yes, I can turn this into 4 pieces. So I think your ultimate goal is first off to go get that 27 first. When you do that, and a lot of you guys have come to me and said, you know, I offered DK Metcalf for my 27 first, and he said no. Yeah, no crap. Like, don't come out with a garbage low offer. You have to make it look like
I already got
you just you make it look like, is this him? This guy has a ton of picks.
Get him Colston Loveland. Let him be all in as a contender. He has his 28 and 27 first. Get them both back to Loveland. Get them both back. Send that trade out right now.
Get Gunnar Helm, throw him back in.
He'll do
that.
What I mean? That's the piece that puts him over the top, Dad. Loveland.
Yeah. And that's what you got to do when you're in these. And I hate to say it, you know, when you do these things, these are built to, when you trade all of your picks, you're all in. You better win. Because if you don't win, you get into a situation like this. Go back up to the roster here a little bit. But like, the only way you're contending, if this was 14 team, I'd be like, he has a decent roster. But it is a 10-man league. So like, I don't want to start Stroud and Young in a 12 team as my QB2. I'm okay with it, right? But let's say we get our first back. That's step one. Then if we can't get it, then I think we need to start looking a little bit differently here, right? Then we have to say, all right, I'm taking CJ, like, because you have to look at both sides here, because there's a real world scenario where he says, oh, I want my 27, my 28 first back. Here's Colston Loveland. And he goes, no, not happening. I see your roster. So then you have to go ahead and you have to try to build it out. And if I'm building this one out, I'm taking CJ Stroud and I'm getting Matthew Stafford plus, or I'm getting Malik Willis plus. I'm getting Bryce Young off my team. I want Bryce Young to go to somebody else. I know I always say that, but I think there's always a Bryce Young lover in every league. Get PPR tips in there. He loves him. I can't stand him. But I mean, if you could do Bryce straight up for Matthew Stafford, I would do that, because then you have Trevor and Stafford, you'll be fine. Or Dak Prescott. If you could do CJ Stroud for Dak Prescott on this one, if you're all in, I think that's the way I go. I need a running back, right? You're not going to get anything. You can't tear Breece Hall down. You can't do that. So if you have those 27 seconds, you can buy a lot of really solid looking running backs. You know, I think you can get Henry. I think if you put the 27 second and Shakir or Quentin Johnston, or maybe even
Pierce or Pittman,
something like that, where you go up and you get a Kyron Williams, you get a Josh Jacobs, you get one of those guys that fills in, because I think you're going to be able to get into that spot. And then I would ultimately, if I can't get the 101 and I can't move the quarterbacks, then it's got to be Loveland. And you got to tear Loveland down to Kraft in a first. And then you start to retool it. But a lot needs to happen on this roster. We're starting to rebuild. If you can't rebuild, I would want to retool. And if you can't retool, there's ways to push in. But this is a cautionary tale of just not trying to do this.
I was just going to say we get this deal done, right? He gives us his 27 and 28 first for Loveland. Boom, done deal. Now it's, okay, let's go find who has our 27 and 28 seconds. Let's throw him Pittman. Let's throw him Pierce. Let's throw him Algier. Let's throw him Bryce Young. Let's throw him Michael Pittman, right? Get those picks back. Walk us through what you're doing from there on out, Dad. Like, we're trying to obviously rip it down. No. We're going to sell Pickens. We're going to sell Olave, probably try to get a 27 and a 28 first for both of them, right? We're going to try to flip Breece Hall for a 27 first. I'd honestly keep Lawrence and Stroud and BTJ just to have some substance to build around here. But I think that's the play, right? Like, it's okay. You get your picks back now, start selling shop.
And the 201 next year is going to be like a TJ Moore type, who's honestly would be like the 107 and 108 in this class. So it's very important to diagnose whichever one of those 27 seconds is a little bit later. Throw Tyler Algier onto it to a contender and get your 27 second back, because that's early second is going to be elite.
Yeah.
Package up Alex Pierce in a second to get a first, or Pittman in a second to get a first. Like, once you get into that rebuild process, there's tools on here. There's people. I mean, all your teams are going to want Pierce. All your teams are going to want Pittman. I think you tear up off of those guys. You get a 27 first and a Jaden Higgins type for Chris Olave. You build it out.
Yeah.
But we got to get there. And I'm the Okayest, I know, is in the Discord. I want to help you through this one, man, because we're going to have to do this one by one step at a time. We're here trying to give you options, but we want to get it all the way. So make sure you hit us up. I'm so used to saying you guys, but make sure you guys hit us up. Oscar Alonso, I believe that's Lard Boy. He put it right there off the bat. 12/9, one quarterback league, full PPR, no 10 in premium. I got the 101 in Tyler Warren and gave A-Chain, Theo Johnson, 107, 109 because of y'all. And you know what I say to that, Snook? It's not even that show. But there it is, baby. There it is. That is elite level. Because, I mean, fine. You want to talk about the 101 versus A-Chain, but then you get Tyler Warren for the 107 and 109. Like, it's a pair. It's two separate wins there. Theo Johnson, unfortunately, is going to be a casualty to Isaiah Likely coming to town.
Yeah. So
no chance there. I love when people do that. You know, like in the Discord, there it is, patreon.com/smashaccept. Guys they'll be like, dude, look at this trade that we worked through together. And I know they do it to you because they do it to me. They're like, yo, Snoog and I were working on this one. Look at this. Like, it's, I equivalent, I put it to the same as like when my kids came home and they're like, Dad, look at the artwork I did. Dude, I just got an A on my math test. Like, yo, put that on the fridge. We need to get a section in there called the Dynasty Trade Fridge. Just put the best looking deals on there. Thumbnail them up. I love that. Going from Discord to Twitter, we got a great one here from Engel Sean. Sean Engel, welcome to the show. 12 team, one quarterback, 0.5 PPR with that tight end premium. So a tight end premium in this one, you're going to get 1 point. The rest of the league, we're looking at 0.5. So tight ends are important. Running backs are important. Team. And good. Ooh, look at all those picks.
This
102, 103, 105.
Approved. This is a smash approved.
I'll let you start because I know this is your boy, and then we'll open it up.
Yeah, I mean, one QB, right? Josh Allen, probably the best in a one QB league. I tell this to everybody. Your Josh Allen's, Lamar Jackson, Drake Mays, Jaden Daniels matter so much to me because they have such a point gap between everybody else, and you don't have to ever worry about the position again, right? You got Allen, you got Stroud, Baker, A+, right? You got more than enough depth there at QB, and you got the best QB in the league there with Josh Allen. Jumping over to the RBs, I think they're good, they're solid, they're young. Judkins,
Scavo,
Stevenson. It's missing a James Cook, a Jonathan Taylor, a Kenneth Walker, a CMC, a Josh Jacobs. So that will be one of the moves that we're going to focus on here. But I'd give this like a B minus just based on the two hammers you got there with Judkins and Scatty. Moving on to the wide receivers. I'm not looking at this like Neighbors and Burden. I'm looking at this like Neighbors, Burden, Mekhi Lemon, and Carnell Tate. Like, that's how I'm looking at this with the 102 and the 103 sitting there.
Potentially all three of them.
Yeah.
There's a real scenario where you could possibly get all three wide receivers. And if you don't, and Mendoza falls to 5, then you get a 27 first plus something else where you get a running back that you can actually utilize right off the bat. Because I think at the 105, honestly, if he fell to that and you don't need the quarterback, you could get a 27 first plus.
Well, it's only one QB.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So it's probably going to be Sadiq or Tyson there at the.
No. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm so used to saying Superflex all the time.
Too.
It's like
me too.
It's ingrained in my head when I see the numbers 102, 103, 105. 105 in this, you're going to get Kenyon Sadiq, but that's fine because you don't really have much behind Loveland anyways. And if you have to, Omar Cooper Jr. could get a nice landing spot. We saw KC Conception. Did you see it's KC Conception? I put it on the thumbnail today by accident, but did you know KC Conception's name is Kevin Conception? Yeah. No, it's the KC stands for Kevin Concepcion.
Really?
Yeah, guys. Zoltan, shout out to him. If you guys don't follow him on Twitter, make sure you check it out. But that's his real name's
I didn't
Kevin
know that.
Concepcion, but his KC stands for Kevin Concepcion, which is
Concepcion.
right. It's my name's Kevin
funny.
Concepcion. But anyways, you're gonna get a good piece there. So I'm with you, Snoog. Like the tight end is set it and forget
Loveland,
it.
A+.
So that's where this team, and especially start 10.5. Allen's a beast. Like you're not going to get much, like you said, for Stroud. Allen's your guy. And when you have that, you see that number there, that 10,200 in green. In a one quarterback league, Josh Allen is a cheat code. He will separate the men from the boys. We need a running back on this team, and we need another one or two wide receivers. We're going to get the rookie wide receivers. But Snoog, 102, 103, give me Tate, give me Lemon. And then when we go to 105 on the clock, I'm going to ship 105 plus someone else here. I'm hoping and praying for this roster that Jeremiah Love does not go to the Giants, because that would decimate this thing. That would blow it up hard. But I think Scatabo, Judkins, we do 105 plus Ramondre Stevenson, or 105 plus something here, even if it's 105 plus a 27-second next year. I think we can go in there and we can get a Garrett Wilson. We can get a James Cook. We can get someone
Jonathan
in that.
Taylor.
Exactly. We need one more piece. Let's start looking for that piece right now. Let's find that guy that looks like he needs picks and he's got that outlier, right? Like the James Cook on the wrong team. Every time I look at that, you and I do the same thing. And if you want to start scrolling through, I'll keep talking about it. But when I start to look at rosters like this, I look at it and I say, all right, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through all my leagues and I'm going to be like, we're going to play that game like they did in Sesame Street. Like, which one of these doesn't belong? And you scroll through a roster and you see a team that's absolutely elite, but they have way too many picks. Or you see a team that's absolute trash, but then they have just that unicorn sitting there of Devontae Adams. And you're like, dude, why does this guy have Devontae Adams? Let's go get him. Why does this guy have Derrick Henry? Let's go get him. Because there's no reason they should be on that team. I got to make an offer.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head there. I think, like, right away, the James Cook owner, more of a real strong contender here. I don't know if he's going to be willing to move that, but trying to ship him the 105 for James Cooks, I think, would be a great move there. Even Christian McCaffrey, like, how can we get McCaffrey from this team here? Like, very weak team, in my opinion. I mean, it's strong at QB. I do think it is super flex because it's showing 2 stars next to QBs. Mm-hmm. Even if it is super flex, you got Stroud, you got Baker, you got much. Allen. I'm not changing anything there. You got a ton of depth at QB. I think it's take Lemon or Tate, whoever you like better at the 102. I think it's sell the 103 and the 105. Get a stud RB and a stud wideout. Get Garrett Wilson and Jonathan Taylor. Get, Garrett Wilson and, someone like a James Cook, or get a George Pickens and a James Cook, or a George Pickens and a JT, right? That's what I'm trying to do here. Like, even Christian McCaffrey here. I mean, we got CMC on a team that has no business being on it, right? Can we give him the 112 and a 27-second and get Christian McCaffrey and just try to buy low there? Let's see what else we got going on here.
Scatabo 112 before Jeremiah Love news comes out. Because
this JT team's awful. It's got Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, and nothing else. Ship him the 105 for Jonathan Taylor and Algier. Like, do that.
Let's preface these leagues where people start to find out they're doing it. We're not making fun of you. We'd say Sean has made good choices. You have made bad choices. Is that shots fired? Oh no, I thought that was one of our other guys.
Oh no.
What's funny is
Garrett.
I have guys in the Discord that'll come to me with a trade, and then I'll have the other guy come to me with the other end of that trade, and I'm like, what is happening? The worlds are starting to collide, and it happens on Twitter. So if we ever say something about your roster, literally come join us. Yeah. We're willing to help. But
these two teams right here, Dad, Garrett Wilson on a team by himself would be a great target to get him, the 103 or 105 plus. Mm-hmm. And then this team here, break this down. He's got Hampton, Bucky, AJ Brown, 2 QBs and nothing, right? Like Derrick Henry. Yeah,
this guy. And this is that guy that looks like
AJ Brown.
No, this is the guy that overpays, right? He doesn't have any picks, so he's not worried about that. I think we go to him and we offer some picks and start to get AJ Brown off his team. We start to get Derrick Henry because he's void of picks and he's starting to age out quickly. And I have no problem trying to go that route. Even like I said, the CJ Stroud for Dak, and then AJ Brown for one of our wide receivers, and try to upgrade that way. Tons of opportunities, Sean. Because you're on Twitter, we're going to give you a code here at the end for either a free month or 30% off our yearly. I know that was our biggest thing, Snoog, is spring 30. Daylight savings. That offer is over. But if you guys do a roster review, especially you guys that are on Twitter, we're offering that 30% as a just thank you. And it basically almost offsets the cost if you think about it when you go that way. Snoog, speaking of the Discord, and our guys know about this. So we run promos. We run a bunch of different contests, giveaways. I mean, Doof won, and Doof didn't even get in on this one, so he can't win for once. But he won the autographed Nico jersey. Tonight, we're going to give away the final spot in Smash Accept 22. Snoog, I picked 3 comments. All they had to do was leave a review on either Apple or Spotify. If you guys do not subscribe to us on there, even if you don't listen to it on the regular, subscribe, help us out. It helps us on the charts. The first one here, number 1, I'm not going to say who it's from. Response time from the whole Smash family is unmatched. Got me spamming people's DMs with trade offers every day. Now I'm really understanding the values in playing Dynasty versus Redraft. Really love those kind of comments because it's what we try to do, right? I mean, that's really what we're all about. Next one here, we're going to go with, give me 1 second. Love all the work. Never miss a podcast. Listen to every single one on Spotify. Thank you for that one. I mean, that's an awesome comment too, because we're really there. Last one, usually watch you guys on YouTube, but the past few episodes I've been listening to Spotify while at work. Don't tell my boss. Makes the day go by so much faster when I'm listening to it. Best in the game at what you guys do. # Smash Accept.
I like that one. That's my favorite one.
All right.
The last one.
That is Craig Lezzz. You are in Smash Accept 22 with me. Hey, Smash Accept 21, they let me take all the 27 firsts. I'm up to 9 now. I don't think they're going to let me do that in Smash Accept 22. So I love it because it keeps me on my toes. We got to do a different style. Now our last one of the night, last but not least, Nathan Kofer. I'm thinking it's Kofer. So yeah. Brock's the guy that pronounces everybody's name properly. This is a 10-team PPR Superflex. Let's take a look at what we have here on this particular one. Because Snoog, this roster here, I mean, I'm going to start off the bat. Quarterbacks are elite. I love this quarterback room, right? No real QB3 because Penix and Fields are there, but he does have Fields tied to Mahomes, so that's fine. Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, set it and forget it. Boom, done. Kenneth Walker, Travion Henderson, Jordan Mason, who's, I guess, technically the starter for the Vikings. Couple of, insurance guys, Tank Bigsby, Tracy, B-Rob, RIP, Joe Mixon. That's okay. I'm going to give it like a C+, maybe a B-. Looking over at the wide receivers, Garrett, Waddle, Devontae, Moore, Pierce, Hunter, Wilson, Christian Watson. Boom. Just for the depth alone, I'm going to give it an A-. I would love to see another wide receiver 1, but I mean, DJ Moore got a bump. Jalen Waddle got a bump. Garrett Wilson got a bump. Devontae Smith's about to get a bump. Your entire wide receiver room via free agency and trades. Yeah, like the whole thing just increased in value. It's like when the after COVID, everybody's house went up by $100,000 and we all got more money. Tight ends, that's your weakness. Brenton Strange, Hunter Henry. It's not the worst, but I don't love it. No 26 first, no 27 first, no 28 second, no 28 third. A little void on picks there, but there's a little bit to work with. So I know you talked to Nathan a little bit more than I have. Let's start looking at this roster. I think personally, I think it's a contender. I just think I want to see. I do. Well, in 10-team, it's a little bit dicey. You know what I mean? Like 10-team, you're looking at it a little bit different, but you have 2 top 10 quarterbacks. That instantly puts you on the map, right? You have a top 10 running back in Kenneth Walker. You have a top 10 wide receiver in Garrett Wilson. We need a tight end to put us over the hump. And for me, I'm taking one of these wide receivers and Brenton Strange, and I'm trying to get a reduced volatility where I get a tight end like Tucker Kraft, like Kyle Pitts, like maybe even Sam Laporta, just somebody that's a little bit better. And then on the back end, get a vet thrown in, right? So we trade, let's call it, I hate to trade Devonta Smith. Oof. Maybe we do Hendo and Strange for Kraft and a veteran running back that would fill in there. That's the best I'm looking at. But I think
I'm rebuilding.
Would you really?
It's just 10 team. It feels like such a 4 or 5 seed. It doesn't feel like a 1, 2, or 3 to me. I mean, let's do the due diligence and look through the rest of the league. But let's see. I mean, okay, that's not. I mean, that's got good value, but that's someone that's crazy hard to contend with. That's gonna be hard to beat. Lamar, Allen, Judkins, Kyron, Jacobs, Amon-Ra, Nico, Abuka, Chris Olave, Burden, Zay Flowers. That's 101 too. So he's got Jeremiah Love coming.
Yeah,
that's probably a top 3. JSN, Rice, Odunze, McBride, Fannin, 106, May, Herbert, Purdy. That's another one. Let's see, Druka Nakua. That one's freaking nasty. Puka, CD, Ladd, T, Brock, James Cook, Bucky, Saquon. That's 3 better.
Yeah. It might be a retool. Given those 3 are
bad.
Those 3 are pretty elite.
Oh my God, this one's really good too. Yeah. I think you're better off rebuilding. It seems like no one's going all in on the 27 class yet. Everyone's got their picks. Let's get ahead of the curve, right? I think we get it. I mean, there's a lot of good teams in this league. There's a lot of stacked wide receiver rooms, which is scary to me.
Go back down. That's our target. Go back. The Cam Ward, JJ McCarthy, like this guy here.
27 though.
He does not. Never mind. Then forget about him.
Yeah. I think our targets are going to be like these guys in the middle, like this Jalen Hurts team or this Jahmyr Gibbs team, right? This Gibbs team with his 27 first and the 103. That's a good one. Maybe we give him Garrett Wilson for his 27 first plus Addison, or his 27 first and the 27 second plus an Algier plus a Kyle Pitts plus a Romeo Doubs type, and then try to flip that player for a second plus. You got options here. I mean, you could flip Hendo or Kenneth Walker for the 103. I like keeping Mahomes and Lawrence. And
what the issue is, we got to get our own first back.
Yeah,
like we don't have our own first, which is what really makes, especially in this particular format. That's why it becomes so difficult. That I don't see a lot of teams that have a horde of 27 firsts. So we have to kind of kick the tires and try to
this
get
guy does.
Oh yeah.
He has them all. Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
Tan. Yeah, then we're contending.
27. That's gonna be hard to get back, but you should try.
What about our 28 first? Does he have that too?
No, we have that, I think. Yeah, we have our 28.
Okay.
So we just need our 27.
Okay. So I think we retool to get younger. So when we retool, this is good. This is good. When we retool, we can still be competitive, right? Like we're trying to get younger everywhere. And I think on this particular trade, I mean, if you're going all in, a lot of these guys are great. I think Kenneth Walker might be a guy that we could potentially sell on the high right now, where you get that 27 first from somebody else and get a Travis Etienne, which shouldn't be, but that's actually, I've seen that trade. It might take Walker in the 207. You might be able to get a guy like that. You might be able to add another running back, but I hate when we lose the 27 first, and I'm telling everybody this today because you traded your 27 first. Don't do it with 28 either. Don't do it unless it's the final piece, because I'm starting to scout that, and that class looks really good too. When we do this, you pigeonhole your team. Like when Snoog and I look at a roster and we're like, oh, we got the picks. Now we have flexibility. We can do what we want. When you don't have your own first, get creative. Trade guys, trade the second, trade Alex Pierce in a second instead of trading a first.
Break it down for us, Dad. Say he gets his 27 first back. Say he gives up one of Henderson, Walker, or Garrett Wilson, gets his 27 first back. Put together the blueprint. What are you doing from here on out to complete the rebuild? You get your 27 back. Now what?
If I'm the guy that has 9 firsts in the next school class, I wouldn't give it back unless you overpaid like crazy. And the overpayment there is probably going to be like Lawrence and Hendo for the first and something small, which is going to suck.
Really?
But I mean, if we
I
do
wouldn't pay that.
No. But I'm thinking we'll probably get something else back, because I would not give your 27 first back for a single player on this roster other than Patrick Mahomes.
Really?
Like, yeah, if you're rebuilding,
Garrett, Lawrence,
like
Hendo, I think he could get it back for cheap.
His team's not that bad. Like his team, I think the guy will look at it and be like, "This is middle of the pack." But again, it's the process of he's trying to get his first back, so we know how he's gonna value that. But you never know, right? So I think it's maybe try to get a 28-1 for Waddle, a 27 first for Smitty, any first for DJ Moore, add Pierce, add Michael Wilson, add Christian Watson to it if you can get a 27. You know, package up Wilson plus for a 28 first or a pair of seconds. Walker for a 27 first plus 2, Henderson for a 27 first plus 2, Trevor Lawrence I'd probably keep Lawrence and Mahomes there and try to build around them too, and like maybe Travis Hunter and Garrett Wilson. But that's kind of like your blueprint, right? Is get your 27 first back if you can. If you do, start insulating off a lot of these assets to build up the draft picks. And if you can't, like Dad said, go flip the 301 for Travis Kelce and then go flip 207 plus that 27 second for Derrick Henry and just try to put like a contender together that can be a top 3 team and have like a dark horse, run for the championship here. But I think it's interesting.
Given the fact that we have all these wide receivers here, I mean, we got to start 10. Mahomes and Lawrence, that's 2. Our tight end sucks, but let's say I'm okay with Strange, but let's say we get Kelce for the 207, so we'll call that 3. Garrett, Waddle, Smith, Moore, Pierce. That automatically takes us up to 8. So it's Hendo and Walker. So Travis Hunter might be a guy here if you can't. And Michael Wilson. I think I would shop Michael Wilson. I think I would shop Travis Hunter. I think I'd take Travis Hunter. That guy that has all the picks, does he have any running backs? Is there anybody here that's got a running back that doesn't make sense? I take Travis Hunter, I take Michael Wilson, and I buy a running back or I buy a tight end. That's really what we got to look at here is, he's got Genty, but he's not going to move him. He doesn't even have
this I was guy hoping might be willing to go all in. He's got the 102 and 105 and 108. Neighbors, Tet, Washington, Genty, Daniels, like Willis, Bryce. He might be like, maybe I just swap with you, right? Maybe I get Kenneth Walker, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Smith, and here's, 105, your 27 first back plus, right? Like
I just did that. I just did that in a 3-way trade where I gave up Walker and Pickens for 327 first, but part of the deal was the guy I ended up giving, and honestly, Colton, shout out to you from Smash Except 21. He gave up the equivalent of 5 firsts to get in there. He gave up 427 firsts and a 28 first to get Amon-Ra, Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker. And now he's all in, but sometimes that happens. So if you go to this guy and you say, you know what, look at your roster here, man. You're only a couple of pieces away. Why don't we talk about 327 first? And that's not even all. You'll still have them. 327 first. I'll give you one of my quarterbacks. I'll give you one of my wide receivers, and I'll give you one more asset. You take either Mahomes or Lawrence. That puts you over the top. I'll give you one of my running backs, maybe Hendo or Walker. We'll call it 3 firsts, and then you give me back Malik Willis and one of these other high upside guys. Tell this guy, this is what you want. You want the championship. It's here. You got all the pieces. Let's push the chips in. And this is a fun trade. I mean, I think, Nathan, we're going to send you a couple of codes here to potentially join the Discord or continue DM service here over the next couple of weeks to try to help you get this roster into contention. Just incredible. Just caught up now. Awesome breakdown. Thanks, fellas. Hey, kudos to you, man. Justin's a guy that's in there grinding every single day. This community has become such a fun environment just to be in. People talking shop literally 24/7. There's your link down below if you guys want to be in the show next week. Snoog, tell them how they can get a hold of that, and then I'll close it out.
Yeah, just DM me at FFSnoog on Twitter. We got a couple openings for the 4-6 show. The 3:30 show, the next Monday is already booked up, but 4-6 show is still open. A couple spots there. Just DM me there to book. You will get access to that 30% off the year for the annual Discord subscription. You will also get, a chance at a free month of VIP Patreon as well in the Discord. So lots of cool opportunities there to get in there. I'm also going to be sending everybody, from Twitter, all of our Dynasty rankings after this. The people that aren't in the Discord that don't have our rankings will be getting those included as well with the roster review. So definitely something that a lot of good feedback that we're getting from people, especially in the Discord and on Twitter. People feel like this is worth it, just hearing our processes of each roster and diving through what the league looks like and stuff like that. So it's been really fun doing these, and I'm looking forward to keep doing them more as we get closer and closer to rookie draft season.
I'm Dynasty Dad FF. He's at FF Snoog. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and enjoy the process.
It's right there. That's juice.